Always, what is your diagnosis? बताओ.
So my diagnosis is congenital talipes equinomegalis.
जोर से बोलना है. अगर इससे बोलना हो तो इससे बोलना.
So my diagnosis is congenital talipes equinomegalis.
Congenital talipes equinovarus. Why congenital?
So because it occurs from birth.
From birth. Can it be non-congenital from birth?
Yes, sir.
So, what else? Why congenital?
So because it is said that one of the causes is congenital.
So, the first thing is that it has occurred from birth. Then you can say many points why it is congenital. And that many points are that it is bilateral. Bilateral may usually be congenital. That it is not passively correctable. ये मत लिखो, सुन लो. करेक्ट पैसिवली करेक्टेबल नहीं होता. नॉट पैसिवली करेक्टेबल, रिजिड. एंड आई हैव रूल्ड आउट ऑल अदर कॉजेस. आई हैव रूल्ड आउट अदर कॉजेस. तो यहाँ से कौन सा सवाल आएगा? यहाँ से सवाल आएगा व्हाट आर द अदर कॉजेस. बोलो.
Sir, divided into two types, upper motor and lower motor types. In upper motor, there are three causes. One is poliomyelitis, cerebral palsy. One is syringomyelia, and another is cerebral sepsis.
So you have basically what you are doing, you have mugged them up. So you see, if you have this tibia, and here you have the fibula, and if you have the talus here, and supposing this is inverted, okay, so it is inverted because these are more powerful and these are
Less powerful.
less powerful. So now these are more powerful in which conditions? Either inverters are more powerful or everters are weak. I am helping you answer that question. What are the other causes?
So other causes are
No. In which cause inverters are powerful?
so polio.
Cerebral palsy. Either there is a spasm or muscles have been replaced by fibrous tissue. Which condition? Myo means muscle. Dystrophia, wrong development, etasis, also called as arthrogryposis, multiplex, congenital. How are you going to recognize this condition? Myodystrophia etasis. You have heard of this?
Yes, sir.
Multiple joints are either deformed or rigid. Are deformed or rigid. That means you may not be able to flex the knee, or there may be club wrist. So if other joints are involved, then the possibility of myodystrophia fetalis increases. How are you going to diagnose cerebral palsy in a newborn?
There will be deformity in the lower and
May
upper.
not be. Maybe. If there is history of anoxia neonatorum, then you are going to suspect cerebral palsy unless and until proved otherwise. And what do you do for diagnosing asphyxia pneumatorum? Apgar score. Have you heard of Apgar score?
Yes, sir.
You know it?
Yes, sir.
So these are the reasons why these may become positive. Now let us hear about reasons in which the everters will become weak. So if you want to talk about everters, besides cerebral palsy, syringomyelia and Friedreich's ataxia are also reasons of spasticity, because this means spasm or fibrosis. Okay. Now let us talk of the lower motor neuron. So here is the anti-Owen cell, then there is the nerve root, then there is the nerve, then there is the myoneural junction, and then there is the muscle. If this is involved, then there can be weakness of everters. What conditions of anti-Owen cell you know?
So one is motor neuron disease, poliomyelitis.
And poliomyelitis. And what is the classical sign of anti-Owen cell involvement? Classical sign कैसे कहते हैं कि anti-Owen cell involved हो रही है?
So there are exaggerated reflexes and
No. तो लोअर मोटर न्यूरॉन है बेटा. स्पैस्टिसिटी एग्जैजरेटेड कैसे बोल रहे हो?
that is upper motor.
एंटी-Owen सेल से बोलो क्या होता है? फैसिकुलेशन टेस्ट ऐसे करते हैं कि अगर ऐसे ऐसे इसको तुम टिप करो तो तेरा मसल फैसिकुलेशन इज द आइडियल साइन फॉर anti-Owen cell. Now tell us about nerve root. What involves the nerve root?
So there is it's either in the fracture of the head of fibula. Then there may be
Nerve root. Root is before it comes out of intervertebral foramen. You see, every time you cannot answer and the examiner answers, there will be a problem. Spinal dysraphism. So if you have not seen the spine, if you have not looked for a tuft of hair, if you have not palpated the spinal processes, if you have not looked for meningocele, meningomyelocele or syringomyelocele, then you are in a big problem. Because you see, what are the other causes? Alright? Then you come to nerve. Nerve can be involved
in head of fibula fractures, iatrogenic causes and
either injury or leprosy. Okay. Then myoneural junction can be involved.
So it is a myasthenia gravis and Lambert-Eaton syndrome.
Myasthenia gravis. Okay. The important physical sign of myasthenia gravis is that is a test, Reggettine test. But the important test is fatigue paralysis, fatigue weakness. Initially he will be able to hold, but then the grip will weaken. And in EMG you have the dive bomber phenomenon. And then you have the heterophonium or Reggettine test, which is cholinesterase inhibitor. Alright? And then in muscle,
there are muscular dystrophies.
Muscular dystrophy. Can you name which muscular dystrophies?
So there is Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Beckers.
Duchenne's, it is pseudo-hypotrophic muscular dystrophy. Okay. The second,
Beckers muscular dystrophy.
क्या कौन सी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के ऊपर है? फेशियो स्कैपुलो ह्यूमरस एंड थर्ड
So Beckers.
and fourth is peroneal muscular atrophy, which is also called as Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. Third is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. So these are the types of muscular dystrophy. And what is the diagnostic test for muscular dystrophy? Increased serum aldolase and serum creatinine phosphokinase. Right? So this is the answer to the question, what are the other causes of CTE, and the discussion that can develop on those other causes. Okay? The fourth, is what will you do? Okay.
In terms of management,
Yes, management. What will you do? Simple सवाल.
so first we will, when the patient comes to the OPD,
पहली बात तो गीगल मत करो, don't include the examiner.
so I will go for first Pirani scoring of the patient.
First, you will clinically evaluate. And one of the important things to evaluate is Pirani score. Tell us about Pirani score. What are you evaluating in Pirani score?
So we are evaluating two parts, that is midfoot score and hindfoot score.
You are evaluating midfoot what?
Midfoot, there are three parts in midfoot scoring. One is curve lateral crease.
Yeah, affects. A midfoot is cavus and adductor. And hindfoot is
Varus.
varus.
And
You are not evaluating equinus in Pirani.
yes, sir.
So you have to evaluate equinus separately. So you are basically evaluating cavus, adduction, varus and equinus. Cavus occurs at what date?
So cavus occurs at subtalar.
Cavus occurs at subtalar.
No.
Cavus occurs at, and see the cavus where E is written. It occurs at see, this is the tibia, this is the talus, this is the calcaneum, this is the navicular, this is the cuneiform, this is the metatarsal, and this is the. So cavus has occurred at what joint? Junction of hindfoot and forefoot. Hindfoot and forefoot. So talonavicular calcaneocuboid joint. So where does Kavas occur? Kavas occurs at mid-tarsal joints. Two, medially you have the talus articulating with the talus, correct? And then you have the calcaneum. Here will be the stenticulum tali, here will be the anterior part of the calcaneum. This will be articulating with the navicular, and this will be articulating with the cuboid. And here you will have the three uniforms, and you will have metatarsal. So adduction is occurring at
So at the midsection.
again at the midfoot. So basically you are testing at the midfoot both cavus
And adduction.
and adduction. So what part of the Pyrenees code tells you about cavus?
Sir, the medial piece, sir.
The medial piece. Which one?
So the one inside.
Correct. That medial piece tells you about cavus. Correct? So cavus is told by medial piece. And what tells you about adduction?
Sir, curved lateral side and lateral head of talus. The head of talus.
If there is adduction, the medial border will be smaller and the lateral border will be bigger, and there will be again a crease. Can you see in the adduction? Can you see the crease? Right? Now this crease doesn't tell you, but you can quantify adduction by measuring the distance between the tip of the medial malleolus and the head of the first metatarsal, and this gives you the medial border, and then tip of the medial malleolus, tip of the lateral malleolus and the head of the fifth metatarsal, and the ratio fifth metatarsal to first metatarsal ratio is called as Sinha's index. Is called as Sinha's index. He was a professor and head of orthopedics in KGMU. Okay. So, how do you measure cavus? How do you measure adductors? By Pyrenees code. Correct? And now, how do you measure varus? What measures varus?
So it occurs in the hind foot. So, sir, as soon as we correct the varus,
Then that's fine. How do you measure it? What sign tells you that there is varus? Where is the sole pointing?
sir, after
Sole is pointing inward. So the varus of the hind foot is measured by the sole pointing inwards. There is a junction of the sole and the dorsal of the foot. That junction from the lateral malleolus has a greater distance, and from in the medial malleolus the distance is reduced. And the second way to measure varus is look at the foot from behind. Correct? The tendoachelis is directed medially. Alright? So tendoachelis, instead of being vertical, is directed medially because the heel is inverted. So that is how you measure inverted. Cavus occurs at mid-tarsal joints. Inversion occurs at subtaloid joint. Equinus occurs at ankle joint, tibio-tarsal. And you measure equinus by drawing a line along the leg and the line along the foot. Okay? And the two will tell you about the equinus. So, it is important that when you see a case of CTE, you measure the equinus, you measure the inversion, you measure the adductors. Alright? And if it is unilateral, you try to measure the size of the foot as compared to opposite side. And clinically you see, do the entire examination to rule out any other cause. Okay? So again the question, what will you do? You will clinically evaluate. Okay? Then what will you do? Then clinically evaluate, you will evaluate the Pirani score and you will do test of equinus and you will do all this with great deal of understanding. Great deal of understanding as to what is mattering more. Now, what will you do next?
So once I evaluate the Pirani scoring, according to the Pirani scoring, I'll start quantity technique of casting. In which I will first try to correct
You will first see the age of the patient when he is presenting. You will also take history of previous treatment. Isn't it? All that is clinical evaluation. And depending on the age, you will classify the patient as fresh, neglected, rigid, or complex. Isn't it? Complex means there are other causes. Rigid means that it has not responded to it. Neglected means that you have given no treatment. Okay? In all such cases, you will resort to Ponseti method of manipulation. Okay, what is the other method of manipulation? Kites method. Why is Ponseti method? What is the difference between the two?
So Ponseti method, in Ponseti method, the talus is the fulcrum, axis fulcrum, while in kites they use calcaneum as the fulcrum.
They use cuboid as the fulcrum. The thumb is at the cuboid, and there it is at the head of talus. And in the kites method, the thumb at the cuboid is preventing correction of adductor. So in Ponseti method, what are the steps?
So in Ponseti method, after proper evaluation of the Pirani score, so we have to correct 4 deformities. The first deformity we have to correct is cavus. The next deformity we have to correct is adductus.
How do you correct cavus?
So cavus is corrected by raising the first metatarsal.
Raising means this. Pushing the,
First metatarsal.
it is pushing, not raising. Pushing the head of the first metatarsal. First of all, you ensure the alignment of the metatarsal. Because you find that the first metatarsal is dropped much more than other metatarsals. That creates the case. So when you align the metatarsal heads, then the whole foot becomes anterior. So the first important thing to do is to correct case. Okay, then
So the next thing, we apply our class and call the patient after 1 week. After 1 week, we again evaluate the condition of the foot and we do again a Pirani score. If the score is not
good. If cavus is corrected, itna nahi bola. If cavus is corrected, we go on to correct the adductus. And in adductus, we are pushing the metatarsal head laterally in relation to the thumb which is placed on holding the calcaneum, and in relation to the finger or the thumb which is placed on the head of the pelvis. So the fulcrum is the head of the pelvis. And when we correct adductus,
we correct that.
Inversion is already corrected because of
So because of pushing the metatarsal lateral,
because of coupled movement. Because biomechanically, the forefoot abduction is coupled with heel eversion. The bones are that shape that it will automatically. Finally, how do you decide when, if or not to do tenotomy?
We depend on three conditions. First, whether there is soft heel. No, sir. So first, the position of the lateral teres talus. First, that depends. If the lateral teres talus is in position, then we can proceed for tenotomy.
Supposing you do not do tenotomy and correct passively, what are the dangers?
So it will hear all of the opponents.
When there is forefoot adduction, when this navicular is very medial, the spring ligament that supports the head is deviated medially. It's not supporting the head of talus. If you forcefully correct the forefoot, what will happen? That here is the sustentaculum talli, here is the spring ligament not supporting the head. So the navicular will go here, uniform here, metatarsal here, and this head of the talus will herniate between sustentaculum talli and navicular. This is called as rocker bottom foot. This is called as rocker bottom foot. So one problem is that there may be rocker bottom foot if you try to force the forefoot into dorsiflexion without the head at correcting adduction. Because you must make sure that the spring ligament is under the head of talus to be able to do it. The second important thing is that this bone is soft. Ossific nucleus has bone soft. If you force it against a tight tendo-Achilles, the talus will become flat. Alright? Instead of convex, the talus will become flat. That is called as tabletop talus. Okay? So if you feel that the talus is not, ossific nucleus of the talus is not sufficient, or if you feel that the spring ligament is not under the head of the talus, then you will not do a passive therapy. You would do a tenotomy. And basically, you have to do tenotomy in most of the cases. Correct? Now, you will immobilize by, this is the manipulation. Now, after each manipulation, when you will immobilize by?
So by fast, above knee first.
Above knee POP. In what position?
Sir, with knee flexed at 90.
Knee at 90. And foot as per the manipulation. So knee at 90. Why knee at 90?
So that the car does not slip off.
Anything else? ये है, करेक्ट? ये नी 90 पे रखने को कह रहे हैं, हम लोग नी को 90 पे रखने को कह रहे हैं, है ना? लाइक दिस. क्योंकि अगर हमने बिलो नी कास्ट दी तो हमने ये 4 फुट एडक्शन करेक्ट किया, तो ये 4 फुट एडक्शन जब वापस आएगा तो ये सिलिंड्रिकल कास्ट क्यों मूव कर जाएगी ओवर द लेग, ठीक है। तो अगर हमने नी को फ्लेक्स करके अबव नी कास्ट दी है तो ये 4 फुट एडक्शन कैन बी करेक्टेड ओनली अगेंस्ट द थाई कंपोनेंट ऑफ द कास्ट। यू फॉलो? दैट इज वाई अबव, दैट इज वाई 90 डिग्री ऑफ फ्लेक्शन, बिकॉज एडक्शन, correction of adduction can be maintained only against the thigh component of the cast with the knee flexed 90 degree. ठीक है, समझ में आ गई बात? How frequently will you change the cast?
Sir, I can change after every 1 week, sir. I call the patient after every 1 week. I will do the Pilates coding and apply my cast.
Most people say 1 week, developed countries, but in our country we usually call them 2 weeks, because you know the logistics of coming and going, poor patient, so you can do it 2 weekly. Till when will you continue with this treatment?
So the Pilates code will not even do, sir. Until I anticipate corrected all deformities.
Till you have corrected all deformities, but one is very important test, any test by which you can say that the foot is overcorrected. You can say the answer is till foot is overcorrected. That's the answer. And how would you know that the foot is overcorrected? Pirani score will be 0, but one more test. You will tickle the sole. You will tickle the sole. If active dorsiflexion eversion is possible, the foot is overloaded. Correct? Now, what are the indications of surgery? Don't say these words. There is nothing major minor. Indications of surgery are neglected is not an indication of surgery. Neglected means tripositive. Okay. Rigid is. Recurred is. But as age increases, even neglected becomes an indication of surgery. So rigid, recurred, neglected, or complex. So these are the indicators of surgery. Now, what are the conditions that make the CTE complex? One important physical sign that will say that this case is complex. Number one, complex means syndromic. That means you have a cause of CTE. And another very important say which makes it complex or complicated is sensory loss. So if there is sensory loss, you must be able to detect it, because if you give a plaster in sensory loss, you will have a sore. Okay? Now what is the choice of surgery? What is the choice of surgery? What are the possibilities? What surgeries can you do?
on the need of the patient.
ये मत बोलो यार, ये बोलो what are the choice? Choice का मतलब क्या क्या कर सकते हो?
So one is soft tissue release.
Soft tissue release, that is posteromedial soft tissue release, PMSTR. Okay? Yes, what else?
Then there is lengthening of
Posteromedial soft tissue release. Finished.
And then there is lateral structures, tightening of the lateral.
पोस्टेरोमीडियल सॉफ्ट टिश्यू रिलीज खत्म हो गई. आगे उसके बाद
So there is
अबे तुम सॉफ्ट टिश्यू रिलीज के आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा.
so there are bony procedures.
हाँ तो बोनी तो बोलो ना. कौन सा बोलो?
So there are osteotomy of the
ऑस्टोटमीज मत बोलो, एक ही होती है.
dual events.
क्या? कौन सी ऑस्टोटमी?
So dual osteotomy.
बायर्स. पूरा नाम बोलो. मोको क्या है? व्हाट इज मोको?
Medial.
ये टिबिया, ये फिबुला, ये टैलस, कैल्केनियम में अंदर घुस गई तो यूँ ऑस्टोटमी की और ये खोल के यूँ सीधी कर दी. मीडियल ओपन वेज कैल्केनियल ऑस्टोटमी. बायर्स मीडियल ओपन वेज कैल्केनियल. ठीक है. थर्ड बोलो. थर्ड अभी तो बोला था भैया, क्यों भूल रहे हो? कैल्केनियम क्यूबर्ट फ्यूजन, इवेंस कैल्केनियम क्यूबर्ट फ्यूजन. Because then this will stop growing and this will continue to grow. So posteromedial soft tissue release is done up to
3 to 8 years.
2 years. 3 years. Dwyer's Moko is done up to 5 years. This is done up to
8 years.
8 to 10 years. तो 3, 5, 8 और 12 साल के ऊपर
Arthrodesis.
ट्रिपल
Arthrodesis.
arthrodesis. This triple arthrodesis is called as Lambry
Lambert-Eaton's.
Nuides triple arthrodesis. What are the features of this triple arthrodesis? How do we do it?
So in this, we remove a part of the posterior part of the calcaneum, posterior part of the posterior part of the talus, and then we fix it with the
Posterior part of talus निकाल दोगे. कौन कौन से जॉइंट फ्यूज होते हैं ट्रिपल आर्थरोडेसिस?
so there is tibiotalar, one is tibiotalar joint, one is subtalar joint, and one is
ऐसे टिबियो टैलर जॉइंट फ्यूज करते हैं. ये जॉइंट फ्यूज करोगे, टिबिया और टैलस का फ्यूज करोगे, मरना है क्या?
no sir, in this we fuse the subtalar joint.
पूछ के बोलो ना.
We fuse the subtalar joint,
Yes.
calcaneum joint,
हाँ, टेलो कैल्केनियल इज सब टेलोइड.
subtalar joint. We fuse
तुम-
the
तुम-
calcaneum cuboid joint and the talonavicular joint.
तो तुम जो है अंग्रेजी जो है दिमाग, तुम्हारी टंग जो है वो दिमाग से तेज क्यों चलती है? बिना सोचे बोले जाता है. इसी को लेकर पकड़ के बैठ जाएगा. तो तुमने एक बात ये की कि तुमने टैलस और कल्केनियम को फ्यूज किया। तो जब तुमने टैलस और कल्केनियम को फ्यूज किया, तो अगर दिस इज द एक्सिस ऑफ द लेग, देन यू विल कट द टैलस at 95 degrees to the leg. Cut the lower surface of the talus at 95 degrees to the axis of the leg. Why not 90? Why 95? In ladies 100. Why? Because the heel is always higher than the metatarsal. If you put it at exactly 90, you will not be able to wear the heel properly. ठीक है, 95 or 100. Then you cut the upper surface of the calcaneum parallel to the sole. So with talus completely plantar flexed, you cut the lower surface of the talus at 95 degrees to the angle of the leg. And this is very, very important. And you will be able to cut the upper surface of the calcaneum parallel to the sole. So now when you close the wedge, with talus completely plantar flexed, the sole is at 95 degrees to the leg. And this is the correction of equines. Now you want to correct the forefoot adduction. So we make the talus, we make the calcaneum, we make the navicular, we make the cuboid, okay, then we make the cuneiforms, we make the metatarsus. Correct? So this is the axis of the forefoot. You will cut the posterior surface of the navicular and the cuboid perpendicular to the axis of the forefoot. And you cut the anterior surface of the calcaneum and head of the talus perpendicular to the hind, so that when you close, the forefoot adduction is correct. All right, and this talus and calcaneal cut will automatically correct the inversion, because if this is the fibula and this is the tibia, you have cut the surface of the talus like this, and if the calcaneum was initially like this, and you cut the surface of the calcaneum like this, and as you close, this is the lateral based wedge, calcaneum will be corrected. So in triple arthrodesis, you will always be asked how to cut the wedge or big wedge. Correct? And the most important complication is that the talonavicular joint may not fuse. That's why what you do in the navicular, if this is the navicular, you make a slot like this and you fix the beak of the talus in this. So you make a V-shaped wedge or slot in the navicular and then you correct. So this is Lambda-Nudis triple arthrodesis. And I think this completes the whole viva on CT. Correct? First question, what is your diagnosis? Second question, why conjugation? Third question, what are the other causes? Fourth question, that this question would go into all the types of causes. What are the various reasons of CTV? How do you diagnose? Alright. The fifth question is, what will you do? Isn't it? In that, the first important thing is, as soon as the child is born, you will manipulate. You will look at Apgar score, you will physically evaluate the patient completely, and you will manipulate and strap. When the skin is appropriate, when the skin condition is appropriate, you will manipulate and retain by plaster. You will follow the cavus, the adduction, the inversion will correct automatically and equinus. Your fulcrum will be talus. You will immobilize in a well padded plaster, ensuring that there is no sensory loss. And that is a AK plaster with knee 90 degree of flexion. The 90 degree of flexion of knee and AK plaster against the thigh to correct the forefoot adduction, maintain the correction of forefoot adduction. You will go on correcting weekly or 2 weekly till there is overcorrection. The two signs of overcorrection are active dorsiflexion and eversion and Crani score syrup. The indications of surgery are neglected, rigid, recurrence or complex. The choice of surgery is posteromedial soft tissue disease. You can be asked the details of this. What do you do for equinus? Endo-Achilles lengthening, resection of plantaris, posterior capsulotomy, and if it is a neglected case, then the body of talus has been outside the ankle mortise for a very long period of time and it is broadened. So you will have to divide the tibiofibular ligament so that the body can go back. Okay? This is equinus. For inversion, you will look at skin contractures in inversion. You will divide the flexor retinaculum near the tibial malleolus, because in the lower part of the flexor retinaculum, the posterior calcaneal branches of the posterior tibial nerve pass into the heel, and if you divide in the lower part, you may cause sensory loss of the heel and neurotropic ulcers. Then tibialis posterior, you will lengthen, transfer or dissect. Flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum longus, you may have to lengthen. Posterior tibial artery, you will recognize by the rail track effect because you are doing it under tourniquet. Posterior tibial nerve, you will save. You will divide the superficial portion of the deltoid ligament and the medial part of interosseous stellocalcaneal ligament. You will save the tibiotalar ligament. Now these are the steps of posteromedial soft tissue disease. If you still find that there is a bony change and the heel is inverted, then you will do an osteotomy of the calcaneum. It is medial, open wedge, calcaneal osteotomy or Dwyer's calcaneal osteotomy. For forefoot adduction at 8 to 10 years, you will fuse the calcaneocuboid joint so that there is growth on the medial order, and by the time patient reaches 12, the forefoot adduction is correct. After 12 years of age, you will do labradorese, triple arthrodesis. Subtaloid joint, you will cut with the talus completely plantar flex. You will cut the lower surface of talus at 95 degrees to the axis of the leg. To cut the upper surface of the calcaneum parallel to the sole. This will correct inversion and it will correct equinox. And if the callus is completely plantar-flexed, then it may preserve a little bit of torsion. The patient can still slide. The talonavicular and calcaneocuboidal. The posterior surface, that means calcaneum and talus, perpendicular to the hindfoot, and back of navicular and cuboid perpendicular to the forefoot. So a closed lateral based osteotomy would correct forefoot at a height. After this, you will keep the patient in plaster, look for vascular, neurovascular deficit, and then in 6 to 8 weeks, when the bones are united, then you will do graduated radius. Now this finishes the theory. Any problems, any questions? One question.